The moment the little girl tugged gently at her sleeve, the powerful woman froze as if the entire city had gone silent around her. The child's eyes were wide and pleading, her voice barely more than a breath, and the words she spoke carried a loneliness so deep it cut through years of wealth, authority, and emotional armor in an instant. "I don't have Mama. Can I spend a day with you, ma'am?" In that second, everything the CEO thought mattered suddenly felt small. If you believe in kindness and second chances, and in the idea that one small act can change a life forever, take a moment now to like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this exist to remind us that compassion still is power. Her name was Victoria Hale, a Christian woman in her early 40s, the CEO of a major healthcare technology company based in Seattle, United States. To the world, she was untouchable, confident, always in control. Business magazines praised her discipline, her focus, her ability to make hard decisions without emotion. What those headlines never mentioned was the quiet emptiness she carried home every night to her glass-walled penthouse overlooking the water. Years earlier, she had lost her only child during childbirth, and the grief had carved a permanent hollow inside her. She learned to survive by building walls, by working longer hours, by convincing herself that purpose could replace love. That afternoon, Victoria had left her office early after a difficult board meeting and decided to walk through a nearby public plaza to clear her head. She rarely did things like that. Normally, she moved from car to office to home without ever slowing down. The plaza was filled with parents, street musicians, and children running freely, scenes she usually avoided. She was halfway across the square when she felt a small tug on her sleeve and heard the words that would quietly unravel her life. The girl stood alone, no adult nearby, her clothes clean but worn, her hair neatly braided, as if someone once cared deeply enough to make sure she looked presentable. She could not have been older than 6. Her eyes were not asking for money or food. They were asking for presence. Victoria looked around instinctively, searching for a guardian, but there was no one, just a child in the unbearable honesty of her need. Victoria's first instinct was to step back. She had spent years training herself not to feel, not to get involved, not to open doors she could not close. But something about the girl's calm desperation broke through. This was not manipulation. This was not mischief. This was a child who had learned too early what it meant to be alone. The girl's name was Lily Carter. She lived in a small apartment a few blocks away with her grandmother, who worked long hours as a night cleaner and slept through most days. Lily's mother had died 2 years earlier from an illness that moved faster than anyone expected. Her father had disappeared before she could remember his face. Lily learned to make her own breakfast, to walk herself to school, to wait quietly until someone noticed her. She did not beg often, but that day, something inside her told her this woman might listen. Victoria did listen. Against every instinct, she sat down on the stone bench beside Lily. The conversation that followed was simple, almost painfully so, but each word pressed against Victoria's guarded heart. Lily spoke about missing her mama, about how other kids had someone hold their hand, about how she just wanted one normal day where she could pretend she belonged to someone. Victoria felt her throat tighten as memories she buried long ago pushed their way to the surface. Victoria agreed to spend the day with Lily, telling herself it was only temporary, only a kind gesture. She contacted security discreetly, ensured everything was safe, and then did something she had not done in years. She canceled her schedule. They walked through the city together, hand in hand, 2 strangers bound by loss. They visited a small aquarium, shared ice cream, and watched boats drift slowly across the water. Victoria noticed how Lily studied everything carefully, as if afraid the moment might vanish if she did not memorize it. Lily laughed freely, a sound that startled Victoria with its warmth. It reminded her of a laugh she once heard in a hospital room that never came home. As the day unfolded, Victoria found herself changing too. She smiled without forcing it. She slowed down. She listened. Lily did not ask for gifts. She asked questions. She wanted stories. She wanted to know what it felt like to be grown and strong and not afraid all the time. Victoria realized how long it had been since anyone asked her who she was beyond her title. But as evening approached, reality returned. Lily had to go home. Victoria felt panic rise unexpectedly, surprising herself at how deeply attached she had become in a single day. Letting go felt like reopening an old wound she never allowed to heal. She walked Lily back to her building, met her grandmother, and learned more about the quiet struggle that defined Lily's life. That night, Victoria did not sleep. The penthouse felt colder than ever. For the first time in years, success tasted empty. She realized the walls she built to survive had also kept out the very thing she was grieving: love. In the weeks that followed, Victoria found reasons to return to the plaza. She found reasons to check on Lily. What began as concern turned into involvement. She arranged tutoring, helped Lily's grandmother with medical bills, and slowly became a consistent presence rather than a passing miracle. Lily stopped asking for one day and started trusting that tomorrow existed. Victoria struggled with fear. Fear of attachment, fear of loss, fear of loving something she could lose again. But each time she considered stepping back, she remembered Lily's eyes on that first day, and she knew walking away would be another kind of abandonment. Over time, Victoria's colleagues noticed a change. She was still strong, still decisive, but softer, more human. Her faith, long buried beneath ambition, returned quietly. She began attending church again, sitting in the back, listening to sermons about purpose and calling that finally made sense. When Lily's grandmother passed away suddenly one winter night, the world threatened to break Lily all over again. This time, however, she was not alone. Victoria stepped forward without hesitation. Legal processes followed. Social workers asked questions. Decisions were made with trembling hands and steady hearts. Victoria became what she never thought she would be again: a mother. Near the end of this story, if it touched your heart or reminded you of the power of kindness, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to the channel so more stories like this can reach people who need them. Before the ending, we have one special request. Please comment below and tell us what you would have done in Victoria's place, or share a moment when a stranger's kindness changed your life. Victoria once believed she had lost everything that mattered. Lily once believed she had no one. Sometimes God places two broken hearts in each other's path not to fix the past, but to create a future neither could imagine alone.